see, surgical anatomy, obstetrics, spells and potions. Forget about that. Hello, welcome to The Mask Fanatic. Once again, I am The Mask Fanatic, right here to show you some cool and interesting old latex Halloween masks that may be of interest to mask collectors and Halloween enthusiasts and other emotionally interesting individuals. Now tonight in the fan attic up here, I have found, oh my gosh, what a great thing is this. This is a Caiman Lizard, sometimes spelled C-A-Y-M-A-N, like the Cayman Islands, but usually spelled C-A-I-M-A-N. Once again, that's C-A-I-M-A-N. Caiman Lizard from Distortions Unlimited. I believe this great mask was in production from 81 through 85. You know, let me just check that quick. And you know how we check the date of old masks? We use the mask analyzer here. Let me just see. Yep, that's the story. This was in production from 81 through 85. Now this one is from 1981. It actually is one of the first ones, and I have owned it all that time. And wow, back then Distortions masks were of amazing quality. They were as good as it got. And I think it's a testimony to the amazing great quality of Distortions masks of the 80s that all these years later I still have this thing and I can hold it up and show it to you, and you're thinking, yeah, that looks pretty good. You know, a great many masks I've owned since then have not held up anywhere near this long, but this one, not only does it look great after all these years, and there's a little cracking here and there, but not too severe yet. Not only does it look great after all these years, I wore this thing like crazy in the 80s, you know. I had a costume that went with it that Laura made, and I wore it to lots of different occasions and Halloweens and parties and so forth, and well, it still looks pretty good. Now this character is from a Roger Corman Star Wars wannabe called Battle Beyond the Stars, which I believe came out in 1980. It was played in the movie, this character, Caiman, was played in the movie by an actor named Morgan Woodward. And give you a good look at it all the way around here. Caiman was sculpted by none other than Rick Stratton for the movie Battle Beyond the Stars. Now, quite a few masks back then in the Distortions catalogs in the 80s were advertised and described as having been sculpted by Rick Stratton, and then it turned out a generation later that some of those were actually sculpted by Steve Neal, and a different artist who worked with Rick Stratton on a lot of projects. But this one, I believe, I'm pretty sure this one is an actual Rick Stratton sculpture for Battle Beyond the Stars. And the great thing is, Distortions made theirs right from an original. So this looks just like the one that was in the movie. And it's beautifully sculpted, very organic, naturalistic look. And very nicely painted. Again, wow, the quality of Distortion stuff in the 80s was just amazing. Cast in black latex, as most of them were back then. But there's old Caiman Lizard. Now, another interesting fact, well, interesting to me, maybe not to you, because maybe you have one of those, what do you call those things? Lives, that's it, yeah. Another interesting thing that I find about Caiman is that when they made the movie Saturday the 14th, not the second one, just the first movie, Saturday the 14th, which was a comedy about a haunted house and a lot of monsters, they had a bathtub creature that a lot of people remember. The bathtub creature was actually a casting of the Caiman mask, and they just sculpted, I believe Rick Stratton sculpted a face onto it that was like stuck out more and had more of a mean, angry look to it, and bug eyes with two glass marbles for eyes, and stuck a shark fin in this groove that runs along the top of the head. So because the joke was the bathtub creature, there was water in the bathtub and you see a shark fin and it looks like there's a shark in the bathtub, then it stands up and it's this sort of vaguely Creature from the Black Lagoon like green fish man character. But that was the joke. But they used a Caiman mask, which means the sides and the back of the head of the bathtub creature looked exactly like Caiman, and they just had the scary face sculpted on. But anyway, this is such a great mask. I would hate to ever be without one in my collection. He's kind of been a favorite of mine for many, many years, and as I said, I did used to wear him. And here's another thing you might not find interesting. If you collect old mask catalogs, or if you're into that kind of thing, which I have 2 boxes of old mask catalogs, but they're just thrown in no order. I should probably do something about that, but if you were up here in the attic with me, you'd see that I kind of got my hands full as far as too much junk. But the 1982, here's some mask trivia coming up. You ready? Set your mask trivia recorders. The 1982 Distortions Unlimited catalog, which has a mask called Creme on the cover, a black cover with a flesh-colored alien with big black eyes. That catalog is a fine piece of mask trivia and mask history right there. And well, if you like catalogs, you need that one, because I think if anybody ever put together a list of like the top 10 Halloween mask catalogs of all time, that one would be on it. I don't know why anybody would do that, but if they do, the 1982 Distortions catalog needs to be on that article, because the Caiman in the photo in that catalog from '82 is wearing a costume made by Laura, my wife Laura, lady, and worn in the picture by none other than Sam McCain. And that same catalog, the backgrounds were drawn by the late great Terry Big Tear Prince, who designed a number of masks for Distortions back in the 80s, including the Snow Beast, the Double Distortion, the Zombie, the Astronaut. Those were all designed by Big Tear, and he illustrated the backgrounds for those photos. So you get Big Tear artwork in that catalog, Distortions masks, costumes made by Laura, modeled by Sam McCain, and well, a lot of the other characters in those photos also have costumes that were designed by me and sewn by Laura, so a lot of that stuff came from us. And if you look closely at the background on the Crypt series page, there's a cemetery in the background drawn by Big Tear, Terry Prince. He put my name and Ray Hikas's names on the tombstones. So, Distortions masks, costumes designed by me and made by Laura, Sam McCain wearing the costumes in some of the pictures, and my name and Ray Hikas's names on the tombstones drawn by Terry Prince. That's a pretty jam-packed catalog of mask coolness history right there. And check eBay and check your local costume shops and your collector friends if you like this character as much as I do, because they're pretty rare these days. And now I'm going to stop talking about the Caiman Lizard mask on the off chance that some of you viewers have those things. What do you call those things with lives? Lives, that's it. Good night.